Learning to lay out my homeschool schedule for the year is one of the more difficult parts of homeschooling in my early years. I would pick a random day to start and I'd pick a random day to end, and I would just assume that I could squish it all in there. Today I'm going to share with you though some hard-earned tips for laying out your school year in a way that doesn't depend on randomness. If you're new to my channel, I am Tricia and I'm a homeschooling mom to 3 kids. I'm a military wife and this is our 9th year of homeschooling. Today, like I said, I'm going to share with you some tips on how to lay out your school year. It doesn't depend on just choosing dates, which is what I did for several years. First thing I do now with as I go through this, I will mention a couple different printables, or as I go through this, I will try to insert some images to go along, show you better how I do this, and I will insert links where I can down below. So the first thing I do is print out a school year calendar, a 1-page calendar, and I mark off any dates that I know are holidays or pre-planned vacations. Get rid of those from contending first. Since my husband's in the Army, we have a lot of days where he has a 3-day weekend or a 4-day weekend or that kind of thing. So if I'm not mindful about it, I forget about those things. And while we school, not when he's home those days, it's often going to be like a half day instead. So I need to make sure I get those down so that I remember that before I start planning everything else. Number 2, I consider when we want breaks. As I've mentioned many times before, our homeschool year changes every year based on needs of the Army, honestly. What, do we have a move, we have a deployment, that kind of thing. So our dates are often dependent on those type of things, but within that, I've had different ways that I've scheduled things. We have done roughly 6 to 8 weeks on and then taken a week off. When the kids were younger, we schooled only 4 days a week, so I always made sure that we had Fridays off or one other day of the week. In the spring, a few years back, instead of taking a spring break, we took every Friday off for the month of March, and that was fantastic. We loved it. It was fun we were in Indiana at the time, so March was just coming out of a thaw, and it gave us a chance to spend those Fridays out. Might be at a park, but it might be cold, but at least it's out. So that was another option we've done. When we lived in El Paso, winter was rough, and winter we didn't really have snow much, but it wasn't always necessarily pleasant enough to be outside, but fall and spring were beautiful. So I always did a lighter fall and spring, and then we schooled more heavily during the summer and the winter. So consider all of those things. Number 3, that I go through and put in anything we have out of the house. If you're participating in a co-op, do you have any classes out, lessons, that sort of thing. You need to really get all of this. Sorry, the cat's down here hunting everything I have beside me. You want to get everything down before you start planning your actual days. Get everything down that is a non-negotiable type of thing. Then I consider this year, do I want to end early or do I want to start late? This year we're kind of doing a little bit of both actually. We started in July, but we're just doing half days, but we're not starting our full days until second week of September. We've never started that late. But by starting half days earlier, we're still going to be able to end early. This past school year, we ended in the beginning of May, and it was so wonderful to be done that early, especially because we still had other things going on, but so they gave us some flow to our day, but we were also able to take, have more free time within those days. Then, if you haven't already done it, make sure you look at your state laws. Some states, you don't have to do any kind of scheduling. Some states, you have to report your dates, but you don't have a set amount you have to do. Other states, you have a set amount you have to do. So make sure that you have that in your mind before you go on. Number 6, I always make sure I add in 5 to 10 days as buffer days. I'm doing that here instead of upstairs where I can lock everybody out. Anyway, I like to make sure I have in some days built in as buffers. Snow days, if you have a public school type of thing, that build in those days. That way, if you have sickness, if you have an unexpected field trip that comes up, or if you just need a mental health afternoon, you have some flexibility in there. And if you don't end up needing any of those days, well, you get to end your school year a couple weeks early. So once I have worked through all of those steps, then I can lay out what we do. I roughly plan 200 days of school. We do not do all, and that includes the buffer. And inevitably, especially in now when we're still doing half days or in this towards the end of the year, things come up and we just, a full day turns into an hour of school or whatever. So if I don't need all of those days, then we don't take them. But I have them down and just mentally going into the school year, that's how many we have. Right now, for example, when I originally mapped out our day, we had 197. But as things have already come up in the last month of school, we're down to, we've lost 3 of those days already. So, we make them up a lot in the winter when we're not as active. But I just like to have those things built in for my ease of mind. And like I said, if I don't need them, then we just get to end our school year early. So once I've laid out, our year, I take my individual calendars. I make sure to go ahead and copy on all those things and the days off and that sort of co-ops, all of that. And then I start thinking about each month at a time. I like to schedule a field trip a month. I'm not great at it, but I like to, so I try to at least mark down which day in the month that I might want to do a field trip. I like to take one day a month and mentally assume that it will be a catch-up day for things like science projects that haven't been finished, if we've gotten behind in a read aloud, or just those random things that maybe in one subject you're a couple days behind, and in another subject you're 3 days behind or whatever. I take one day a month, and I usually schedule it like the last Friday of the month, and mark it as a catch-up day. If we don't need it as a catch-up day, we just go on. But on my paper, I go ahead and mark it down. Also, sometimes if we don't need it, I end up just taking, we'll do a half-day school instead and surprise the kids with it. Something else I like to do, and it's been harder for me as the kids have gotten older, but I like to take one day a month and schedule it just as a fun day. We might do some additional science projects, art projects, pull out board games, card games, anything that is still educational but is a total break from what we're doing and may not even be connected to what we're currently studying. I find that to be a good way to keep us all connected, but also take a break from the mental hubbub of everything else. So after I put in those things in for a month at a time, now I can start plugging in the rest of our school days and what each week will look like. The key for me is getting this stuff down. This is so against my nature to do all of this type of detailed planning. I don't like it. But it saves me and gives me more flexibility than if I didn't. Because if I didn't, keep all of this in mind, then I'm likely to all of a sudden hit April and realize that we haven't done, we're not far enough along, and we've not done the fun things I wanted to do in the field trips and all of this sort of thing. So even though this feels rigid to me at the beginning of the year when I do it, it gives me way more flexibility and stress relief throughout the school year. So those are my tips for laying out your school year. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment below.